Good morning, and thank you for waking up with the daily Ebony News, where we promise to not only give you the news, but also to give you culture. I am Diva Whalen, and today, November the 18th, 2014, and all this week, we are located in Japan. We're celebrating Japan's Cultural Week, and we have plenty of news and culture to give. Today, we will begin our celebrations with one of the most noted authors of Japan, Sensei Kobo Abed. But before we jump into Sensei Kobo Abed, we're going to start with some local Japanese national news. Japan is having a problem with cell phone zombies. No, I'm not talking about the zombies that eat your insides out or that we see on The Walking Dead. Cell phone zombies are people who are so engulfed in their phone that last year there were 133 incidents with cell phones and walking. Texters and gamers are being reported as more aggressive and rude when it comes to crossing intersections or crosswalks. Researchers in health analysis have growing concern about this growing and unhealthy trend. For environments such as Tokyo's busy streets and intersections, this growing trend needs to be investigated. Therefore, a company ran a computer simulated test that used 1,500 people, and it was reported that there were 446 collisions, 133 knockdowns, and 21 phones dropped during the simulated test. Only 1/3 of the people who participated in the study actually got across to the other walkway safely. Health measures and public safety announcements must be completed in order to change the culture surrounding texting and cell phone usage. Who knew that cell phones and texting could be so dangerous, right? Now, let's go to Breland for other Japanese news.
Good morning, Diva, and good morning to all joining the daily Ebony News in Japan. Today is a beautiful day in Japan. As you can see behind me, but November 14, 2014 was not a good day for Japan's political system and Kyoto University. On November 14, 2014, at the prestigious Kyoto University, television stations captured a student-led riot on the campus. Although the direct cause is not known, it is clear that some of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police were in full-fledged SWAT covering. They arrested 3 students who were known to be left-wing extremists. These students are accused of public disorder and violence against the officers. The students were supposedly stirred to protest by the recent political push for more new powers given to the Japanese military and the restart of nuclear reactors. This unpopular decision is reminiscent of other unpopular decisions such as the United States alliance, the Vietnam War, and the construction of the airport right outside of Tokyo. Unpopular decisions such as the one stated previously seem to have been made by the government without the consultation of the 127.6 million Japanese natives who live within the nation.
These decisions told to us by Breland are made by the Japan's Diet, the national legislative body, which is comprised of 2 houses, the House of Representatives and the House of Councils. The Japan government also has a judicial branch, which establishes constitutional laws. The Prime Minister and his cabinet make up their executive branch, and the Prime Minister is appointed by the figurehead emperor. Prior to the Second World War, the emperor ruled as a monarch, but afterwards, the establishment of the government was similar to the American government that came forth. Breland.
Just as their governmental structure is very similar to ours, their culture is very different and diverse, like ours as well. Their main religions are Buddhism, Christianity, and Shinto. In fact, the Japanese even have a common saying that you're born Shinto, you get married as a Christian, and you die Buddhist, which I take as meaning you go from being a god to a married man to an old man. And here, during Culture Week, we will expose to all that Japan has to celebrate. When we Americans think of Japan, we typically think about the samurai swords, also known as katanas, traditional genji, the robotic toy Osimo. Oh, isn't he precious? However, they have so much more in terms of art, music, writing, and anime, such as the celebrated artist Takashi Murakami. He is one of the most famous Japanese painters and sculptors of the 21st century. His famous works include Tantambo, Smooth Nightmare, and My Lonesome Cowboy. Although My Lonesome Cowboy looks like he's whipping something else around. Another famous artist of the 21st century is the anime manga artist Masashi Kishimoto. Kishimoto is celebrated for his famous series of Naruto. The anime is not only popular in Japan, but also popular in the United States. Naruto finished its 15-year run this year on November 10, 2014. Ayumi Hamasaki is also a Japanese artist, although she is a Japanese actress and songwriter. Her debut was nearly 20 years ago on April 8, 1998 with Avex. Her 16-year career has been filled with hit songs and film features. It's kind of hard choosing from all these famous and noted Japanese celebrities to jumpstart the daily Ebony news from Japan's Cultural Week. But Kobo Abe Sensei is a renowned author of the 20th century. Diva, will you now please enlighten us with information about Kobo Abe Sensei?
We have actual footage from Sensei Kobo Abe and an interviewer about his most noted works, the themes that drove his novels and short stories, his inspirations, and what made his work so popular.
The question is, what inspires your works?
Well, growing up, I always knew that I wanted to do work that has surreal behaviors. So one day I joined a group known as Yoro no Kai, the night group, in which we practice avant-garde styles. During my tenure as an avant-garde artist in Yoro no Kai, I became interested in Marxist theory and also want to incorporate elements of surrealism and Marxism into my works.
One. Please explain to me the motivation behind The Woman in the Dunes.
My motivation for writing the Woman in the Dunes was to portray a sense of loneliness that the characters go through in his journey from teacher to a small remote village. I wanted to showcase that no matter where we are in the world, we are alone.
The Magic Chalk is a well-known short story. Have you ever experienced the same loneliness portrayed in the short story as the starving artist?
Yes. As an artist, I believe that all other artists, create characters to resemble themselves in their own artwork. I believe that artists create characters which help them cope with the world and showcase their own ideals in a satirical format.
Can you please enlighten us or summarize The Magic Chalk?
The Magic Chalk is about an artist who finds a red chalk that helps him to draw anything that he wishes on a rim. Although the one weakness of this ability is that by drawing anything on a whim, it disappears with sunlight. He eventually gathers all the materials that he needs, closes off his room from everybody else, and draws himself a dreamer, effectively shutting him off from the rest of the world. In the end of the story, he is taken into the wall along with his creations, lying beside Miss Nippon, who he considers to be Eve.
Wow, a powerful story with a lot of meaning. Can you please express to us some of your major themes that were not only in The Magic Chalk, but also in Woman of the Dunes?
Some of my major themes in my artwork, in my novels and short stories are that the themes of loneliness. Loneliness along with surrealism and avant-garde tactics. I wish to show a sense of realistic scenarios with bizarre and seemingly impossible outcomes.
Wow, thank you for that powerful revelation and expressions as to your artwork, your themes, your motivations behind your stories. We appreciate you sitting down and talking with us, Sensei Kobo Abe.
Thank you. It is not often that I get to talk about my artworks. I enjoyed my time here with you. Sayonara.
His novels, that include The Woman in the Dunes, has already been transformed into a movie. And now his short story, Magic Chalk, will be brought to the stage. This play, of course, will show the starving artist and Miss Napoon from the famous story. This play will have a twist on the original story because it will feature personal accounts from each character's opinion of the other characters in the Magic Chalk. Here are sound bites from the upcoming play.
What do I say about the starving artist? That is his name? I mean, I truly forgot his name, if he even had a name. You know I'm famous, right? I am the Miss Napoon. I travel all around the world and doing shows for my troops. I mean, I'm beautiful and talented and everything that's pleasant. So when I realized where I was in that dirty room with that dirty man in red chalk, I knew my agent must have made a fatal error. I mean, me in a room that's black and covered with black paper for the walls. I mean, where was I? So I asked very nicely to see the chalk, and I bought a gun, and I made sure that I got out of there.
My opinion of Miss Napoon is that she is a woman that takes control of her own situation. Although she can be seen as vain due to her belief that her body is valuable, she has her own values of what is right and what is wrong, and believes that one should live within the boundaries of reality. Miss Napoon, I must say, you truly serve as a foil to me. Man versus woman, celebrity versus commoner, Adam versus Eve, creator versus creator, etc. I can't believe that you used a gun to shoot and kill me, so to speak, but just the idea that you were able to take an unfavorable situation and make it into your own. I truly have undying respect for you, and for that I also want to thank you for showing me the errors of my ways. Thank you.
The play is set to debut in both Japan and the United States within the upcoming year. However, dates are still pending.
Crop it out.
Kobo Abe Sensei is one of the most understandably powerful Japanese artists. If you have not read The Woman in the Dunes or The Magic Chalk, which you probably should, then please make it a part of your daily Ebony News cultural reading list.
We thank you for spending time with us today at the Daily Ebony News. And all the way from across the Pacific, we want you to remember, same time, same place. I am Diva Whalen.
And I am Breland Kruder.
And again, all the way from Japan, the Daily Ebony News wants you to remember that we not only bring you the news, we also enlighten you with culture. Thank you.
Thank you.